Tinubu don come outside come talk say Cardoso wey be say na governor of CBN say im go sack am because the way im dey use run the CBN say im politics no dey work and the way the naira dey dey fall yakata anyhow the thing dey vex everybody. Tinubu threatens to sack Cardoso over unacceptable naira exchange rate. Following what he considered an unacceptable exchange rate of the naira against the dollar, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has given a marching order to the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, to reverse the upward trend or should be prepared to be shown the way out. Specifically, President Tinubu threatened the CBN governor, Mr. Olayemi Cardoso, with a sack if he failed to get the needed value for the naira by reducing the extremely high exchange rate between the dollar and the naira that is presently pegged at over 1,640 naira per dollar. CBN and the presidency sources confided in our report that President Tinubu, who expressed serious disappointment over the failure of the Apex Bank to bring back the exchange rate following the floating of the naira, has vowed to sack not only the governor but all the deputy governors if nothing is done to bring down the exchange rate to 900 naira per dollar within the next 2 months. It is fire on the mountain right now in the CBN as the president has vowed to sack the CBN governor and deputy governors in the next 2 months if nothing is done to have the dollar exchanged for 900. They are running all over the place to pull all stops and ensure the exchange rate is reduced. Not even the revocation of over 4,000 BDP operators licenses has helped reduce the high exchange rate. Despite the revocation, it is business as usual as the sale and buying of the dollars and other foreign currencies are ongoing unhindered. A top government source lamented and disclosed. Forefront News further gathered that the president is convinced that under-the-table deals and outward manipulation by commercial banks in coalition with the CBN officials are some of the major reasons behind the high exchange rate described as capable of ranging the naira into a worthless currency. Tinubu is convinced that by now a reduction in the exchange rate of a dollar to the naira should have been visible since he ordered the CBN governor to take over crude oil payment receipts, a function that was previously carried out by the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited (NNPCL). The order for the CBN to take charge has provided no respite as the NNPCL is only producing for crude oil already paid to the previous Buhari-led administration that sold the oil in advance. The Buhari-led government sold a future when they collected payment for the future crude oil production. What the CBN is simply doing now is documenting receipts of money paid to the previous government. Considering the imports dependent on the Nigerian economy, the dollar is scarce. Since we can import almost everything and barely produce nothing, the exchange rate will even continue to fly at a frightening level, says the source. However, our reporters finally revealed that Tinubu's threat to sack the top echelon of Apex Bank may not bring any positive outcome as problems associated to low liquidity of the dollar must be combated before saving the local currency that was printed uncontrollably to the tune of 22 trillion naira during the 8 years of former President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration. A senior top government official who pleaded not to be named said if the naira must be saved from its cascading fall, the need to get a foreign loan to stabilize the naira is imperative, adding that as long as the demand of the dollar is high, so will the exchange rate will remain in the ceiling. At the popular Wuse Zone 4 BDC operating zone Abuja, the buying and selling of the dollar was ongoing, but an approachable truckload of policemen forced buyers and sellers to scamper into the plazas as deals continued unimpeded at the weekend when this correspondent visited the area. Following the revocation of the licenses for BDC operators, Nigerians have called on the CBN to set the prying eyes on commercial banks that were engaged in subterranean manipulation of the foreign exchange market for round tripping. In the words of someone privy to the dark side of a relationship existing between banks and BDCs before now, many BDC operators now banned are mainly owned by top security personnel, including former IGPs and military generals. Now that they have been barred, the CBN is presently engaged in cleansing the organ stable. For now, the head of a snake may have been cut off. The snake is still undergoing the pains of death through it. It will take a while for the problem to be tackled if all things remained equal. According to a report by the Economic Intelligence Unit that was released last Friday, for Tinubu to stabilize the naira, the CBN may need to resort to foreign borrowing to support the naira and it fulfill its foreign exchange obligations. Despite suffering the second devaluation of about 45% in February, the naira was tagged, according to analysts, the second worst performing currency in the world after the Lebanese pound. The EIU report warned the implementation of both floating the naira and forced subsidy removal, described as the biggest economic shakeup in a generation, risked mass protests and strikes. A retired military versed in global financial matters told this reporter that the rolling out unpopular market reforms and attack on corruption may save the day, but foreign borrowings are urgently needed to save the naira. My own is it is a good thing. Yes, for those who are saying nothing can be done, that nothing can be, look, something is going to be done about it. Something is definitely going to be done about it. If Olayemi Cardoso and the CBN board wants to survive, they must be prepared for a head-on confrontation with banks, managing directors, and other parasites and saboteurs. Other economy, otherwise they would be rubbished and pumped into the dustbin of history. Philip Ikeazu and Co., a wake-up call. It's not only dollar that is scarce, naira too is scarce. In as much as fuel subsidy removal is good, the government must do everything that our local refineries are working. Build more refineries if possible, make petroleum products affordable so as to stimulate economic activities again. With time, the dollar will gradually come down. The high price of piece of petroleum products and adversely affecting Nigeria, it has to be urgently addressed. I am beginning to notice that what Tinubu is thinking is not adding up for him. Tinubu, Nigeria is too big for you to handle in the midst of corruption. Your good policies are failing. Swallow your pride and restructure or divide Nigeria. How can the past administration sell our mortgage accrued in advance? Then where is the money? Mostly ended up in private pockets. Restructuring or to your tenants of Israel is the way to go. So many saboteurs. Tinubu should forget about any greedy and Milocon agendas and take the bull by the horn. Otherwise, it will go and be the dustbin of history, and people will be more kind to him, more than godless Buhari, the worst ruler to date. Alright, on this note, you have come to the end of the news. We say thank you for tuning in to listen. Until I come your way next time, enjoy the rest of your day.